Hello, I'm Luke, the co-founder of Elite Scale Digital. We help med spas and wellness clinics generate new prepaid, pre-qualified patient appointments like clockwork. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you the best practices for UGC video ads that you can run on Facebook and Instagram without attracting those annoying bargain hunters. You're gonna learn what UGC content is, why it's important, and some specific examples and frameworks of how you can create your own in as little as 30 minutes, and all you need is an iPhone. Let's dive in. So first of all, when I say UGC, what am I even talking about? UGC stands for user-generated content. To really take things to the next level and squeeze the most juice out of your ad spend, you're going to want to start incorporating user-generated content in your ads. So there's a few reasons why UGC is really important, and I'm going to touch on several of those now. Number one, it doesn't feel like an ad. When you see a normal person talking into their camera, subconsciously there are no alarm bells going off in your brain saying, oh, this is an ad, and you continue to scroll. With UGC, there's a higher likelihood that a person is going to stop and at least watch the first few seconds of the video if it doesn't feel like an ad. What this also does is build instant trust with people on the platforms. Because again, if you're just hiding behind stock image creatives, it doesn't say anything about your business or your local area in particular. But if somebody can get a sense for what you look like as the med spa owner, what your office looks like, what devices are there, what's the overall vibe, that automatically builds instant trust from the moment that they see that creative initially on Facebook or Instagram. Also, UGC is way more engaging than stock image creatives. If this looks like just a native Instagram post, it's going to be a lot more likely to actually generate more engagement. And the more engagement you get on your posts, the better they perform as ads. Which leads me into the next point here. Typically, UGC gets lower CPLs, meaning cost per lead. The cost per lead goes down the more custom content you're utilizing, because again, it feels real, it feels authentic. It doesn't feel like an ad. The next advantage of using UGC and why it's so important is it allows you to advertise higher ticket services than stock. So many med spa owners that I speak to on a daily basis are terrified of running Groupon type ads where they're discounting their services significantly and thus attracting these bargain hunters that aren't really serious and probably won't upsell into a higher ticket package. And the reality is, the more custom your content is to your business, the higher you can actually charge for front end services. If you're going to be relying just on stock imagery that everyone else is using, in order to be successful, you're going to have to discount those services pretty significantly. Can that strategy work? Absolutely. Do I still recommend to our med spa clients to go as low as possible as far as pricing is concerned on the front end? Yes, absolutely. But if you're somebody that's dead set against discounting your services, you think it's going to cheapen your brand, and you really just want to make sure that you're advertising services at a higher price point, really the only way to do that profitably is to have great UGC that you can roll out as ads and still get the same cost per lead that you would be getting if you were running discount offers. Another great advantage of UGC is it works for organic content as well. The same videos that you run as ads, you can also post to your platforms organically and get some traction that way. These are not mutually exclusive. The same type of content works for paid ads as well as works for growing you organically on these different platforms. Another reason why UGC is so important is the algorithms are actually prioritizing human first content. So as time goes on, those stock creatives that everybody uses to get leads are going to become less and less viable as means of generating leads and appointments for your med spa. So if you want to give the algorithm what it wants, which makes it easier for the algorithm to give you what you want, meaning more leads and appointments, you definitely want to utilize more UGC because again, Meta prefers human first, as they call it, content. And the last reason that I want to cover today of why UGC is so important is it enables hyper-local relevance. Okay, what does that mean? Typically, when you're running a lead gen campaign on Facebook and Instagram, and you have a brick and mortar business like a med spa, you're targeting people only in your local area. Perhaps a 10 to 20 mile radius around your brick and mortar location is what we typically start with for our clients. So mentioning your location in the UGC makes the content significantly more impactful for people actually in your local area. If you include your address or your local neighborhood in the ads themselves, somebody in that area or somebody that lives down the street is going to really resonate with that advertisement and be significantly more likely to engage with that post and potentially convert into a lead or an appointment. What I'm going to show you right now is a handful of UGC video formats that work extremely well for us and our clients. Number one would be, and probably my favorite of all of these, is the Come With Me walkthrough style video. These work extremely well because it really feels authentic. So I'm gonna show you an example of what a Come With Me walkthrough video would actually look like, and you might recognize a couple familiar faces from this example.
Come with me to get microneedling and a laser facelift done at Iconic Wellness in Newport Beach. Nurse Julie was super nice. She did the treatment on my boyfriend. She included face and neck. Look at that glow. I also did the intraoral lift. I added laser resurfacing, a lip plump, an eyelid lift. I numbed. She drew my blood and spun it to get that liquid gold. This is going to reduce pore size, fine lines, wrinkles, no downtime, and already the next day, I look great.
So as you can see, it's from the perspective of a customer. It shows exactly what the office looks like, what's included in the offer. And that was a very expensive offer. As you saw, there's a lot of different steps to that. And despite that, we were able to get a tremendously low cost per lead, even though the price of that first session, if you include all of those services, was like $600, if I remember correctly. The next extremely effective UGC style video would be a testimonial video or a case study. Somebody that's actually gone through a series of the treatments that you're advertising and has gotten great results. So I'll show you an example of that from another one of our clients.
This is our famous Shelly. She did such a good job. She lost 107 pounds. We're so proud of her. We use the True Sculpt, True Flex, and Axon Prime 3 machines. And of course, her hard work, eating good, exercising. She achieved the loss of 107 pounds. We're so proud of her.
And I like doing these treatments because they're natural. I don't have to worry about surgery and recovery. Jenny takes a good care of me. This is just all part of my whole wellness in my journey, and I couldn't have done it without you guys.
We're so proud of you.
So that type of video obviously creates instant social proof, and it accomplishes the same thing as the walkthrough video when you intersperse little clips of the actual service being performed and clips of the actual location itself. Another one of my favorite styles of UGC videos is a treatment walkthrough. Now, these are extremely simple. You don't even necessarily need to have a voiceover component to it, but just show exactly step by step what the appointment looks like. So somebody who is potentially interested in that treatment can see exactly what they're in for if they were to book an appointment for what you're advertising. Here is an example of a treatment walkthrough video for a hair restoration campaign. So super quick, super straight to the point, but it shows them checking in, it shows them meeting with the provider, it shows the treatment being done, all in about 15 seconds. And the last style of UGC video that I'm going to cover in this video is the FAQ style video. So does the treatment hurt? How long does it last? Any type of question that somebody that's interested in this type of treatment is going to potentially have, if you can pre-address some of those concerns ahead of time, that's gonna go a long way. And again, building that trust and getting people to take that first action step of converting into a lead. So I'll show you an example of that type of video. This actually isn't one of our clients, but it's a good example from TikTok when it comes to Botox. So there you go, 4 of my favorite types of UGC content that performs the best in ad campaigns in my experience. The final topic that I want to cover with you guys today in this video is just a few UGC style tips. that you can take and implement immediately to get the best performing UGC possible. Number one, as far as the length is concerned, I recommend keeping the videos between 30 seconds to a minute max. My philosophy with this is actually less is more, and oftentimes even 15-second videos perform the best. But if you really want to push the envelope a bit, I would max out at about 1 minute if you're going to actually be running this as an ad. If you have any kind of voiceover component, you have any words, anybody talking, you're definitely going to want to add captions to the video. A couple really easy platforms you can utilize in order to do this would be CapCut. Another one that I really like is the Captions app. The next thing you want to make sure that your videos have are quick cuts, okay? Everybody in these days have very short attention spans, so we want to make sure that we're keeping them engaged, keeping them watching the videos for longer. So you're going to want to have a ton of quick cuts. I'm talking every 1 to 2 seconds to better your chances of keeping people's attention for longer. You don't have to worry about production quality when it comes to these types of videos. iPhone videos are fine. In fact, they work the best. You don't want to have perfect lighting. You don't need to go and invest in some crazy expensive camera. You want this to look, again, like it's human-made content, that it's not an ad, that there wasn't a huge production budget behind it. Don't overthink this. Don't spend a lot of time and money planning this. iPhone videos are just fine and oftentimes work the best. And lastly here, you always want to include a CTA or call to action, especially when you're running these as ads. Most of the time that call to action is going to be click below to book your appointment, right? And what that does is it turns them into a lead. You want to direct the viewer to that first action step that you're trying to accomplish. Like I said, most of the time that's converting them into a lead, but definitely include something there so the person watching knows what the next step is to take. And with all of this info, you should be armed with everything that you need to start creating great UGC for your Facebook and Instagram that you can run as ads to start getting more leads and appointments on your calendar today. And if you'd rather have us handle all of this for you, book a call with us to chat in more detail about how we can help take this off of your plate in the link in the description.